Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Rebel Jiujitsu Podcast. It's 10:18. I'm driving to my academy to do my first ever kids homeschool jiu-jitsu class. I wanted to start doing this class basically when I was training at Art of Jiu-Jitsu. I noticed there were some kids in the 6 a.m. I was training at 6 a.m. With other avid, serious hobbyists in their 30s, 40s, 20s, 50s, 60s. But also there were some kids in the 6 a.m. class, in Tynan's class, in Professor Alexis's 6 a.m. fundamentals. There were, some 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. I was like, what are they doing here? Do they have school? What's going on? And I came to learn that most of them were homeschooled. Okay, so then this is all during COVID and stuff too. Homeschooling obviously became a lot more popular. Everyone was basically forced to homeschool for a little bit during that COVID time. So I think it took away some of the social pressure to not homeschool, which there definitely is, right? When I was growing up, if you were homeschooled, you were like a freak. You were a total freak. No one wanted to be a social outcast, so might as well just go to school and get bullied there, you know what I mean? So I'm starting my first homeschool class, and I'm super excited. So, like I said, I would see these kids in AOJ, 6 a.m. I forget what belt they were. Maybe they were blue belts. Some of them not even adult belt yet, kids belts. And now, fast forward, I just watched Euros, the European Championship, the IBJJF European Championship. All my students, I hope you're watching those matches and taking notes. But I just watched Euros, and some of those same kids are European champions. Shelby Murphy, I think she was like maybe 14, 15, 16-year-old blue belt when I was training at AOJ. Now she's a black belt European champion. So amazing. How cool is that? She's a black belt woman champion. Definitely seems like a good use of her time, huh? She did the homeschooling, and now she's European champion. Instead of going to some community college studying communication, she is building her brand as a jiu-jitsu athlete and teacher. Sky's the limit, right? Another kid, Dominic Mano, him and his brother Anthony were training 6 a.m. and now Dom, I'm sure he's training 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., all those classes. He's teaching too. He has a podcast. Like, come on, this guy's doing everything, you know what I mean? He's a little younger. He's a blue belt still, but still blue belt European adult champion. So, it's awesome. It kind of shows you like the level, okay? This episode is called Levels, all right? So there's levels to jiu-jitsu, that's for sure. The more you train, the more you'll see the different levels. One level that's obvious is just the belt level. So when you're at training, you'll feel the belt level, right? A blue belt, wow, they're a lot more experienced than a new white belt. Purple belt, brown belt, black belt, of course. But when you really get into jiu-jitsu, then you start to see there's levels within the belts, okay? There's these adult blue belts that started training as a kid, and they have the full kid program experience right into being an adult, no time off. 10 or 11 or 12 years of jiu-jitsu from age 4, 5, 6 to 18. They might be a blue belt, but they are very high level, okay? You don't want to say they're black belt level because they'll get to that level, but they're much better than some guy that's 20 and started training a year and a half ago and got his blue belt, you know what I mean? So there's levels within the belts, okay? This is why you got to watch jiu-jitsu, all right? Everyone's at their academy, and they're watching their match. They're watching their match that they're involved in, right? Unless they close their eyes. Some people are closing their eyes too, so who knows who's seeing what. But you got to watch the sport of jiu-jitsu. If you really love jiu-jitsu so much, like everyone loves to text me questions and, you know, annoy me all day, there's a lot to learn on the internet, guys. Okay, there's so much to learn, right? The best thing you can do is watch matches, try to study, or even now, guys, the best thing you can do is watch matches. I always say that because it will give you the patience, okay? Sometimes when you just see a highlight, you think that a match really is all highlights, and then you try to do highlights for 45 seconds and you get tired. You have to know when to be a little bit slower and more patient. But that being said, when you watch these matches, very action-packed, lots of jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? Less wasted movement and more jiu-jitsu moves. And you could really see the level. You see these blue belts, they look outstanding. Extremely high-level jiu-jitsu. But even if you watch European Championship versus like the World Championship's a higher level. The last couple like quarterfinals, semifinals, a little bit bigger names, people from Brazil that aren't doing Europeans. Maybe they're doing Worlds. Yeah, all that factors in. Okay, but again, it's all about the levels. Okay, so your skill level isn't your belt level. You can be a really good blue belt and you've only been a blue belt for a year and you're tapping out all the purple belt, brown belts at your academy, but you're still a blue belt. Okay, you're tapping out some 50-year-old brown belt, like that doesn't make you a brown belt. Insert any example there, right? You're 31, you tap out a 41-year-old guy, a belt level higher, like, okay, that's cool. They're a little bit older. Maybe they're not taking it as seriously as you're taking jiu-jitsu right now. Everyone's at a different stage in their journey, right? But levels. I want everyone to think about levels. There's levels to jiu-jitsu academies. There's levels to your professors' experience. There's multiple time world champion professors, you know. And there's some of the most famous jiu-jitsu teachers ever of all time. John Danaher, he's never competed, never won anything, you know what I mean? So, all good. Even though I'm not an IBJJF champion, I've competed, I've won some championships. I got my NAGA belts, like, God bless, you know, I'm more accomplished than John Danaher, and he's the most famous guy in the whole sport. He's like freaking the guy from X-Men, he's on Joe Rogan, like, sky's the limit for me, right? All good. So yeah, just basically recapping Europeans, so good. One of my students said he could beat Dom. He's like, oh, I could beat Dom. Dominic Mano won that blue belt adult featherweight. So I'm hoping I could set up like a little YouTube challenge match and let my 40-year-old try to beat this kid and just film it and see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll have to reach out to Dominic Mano for that. So that's that, guys. I just parked the studio, aka the car, at Jiu-Jitsu. I'm gonna mop, clean up good for the homeschool class. And that's just that. I'm trying to take my academy to that next level. To be as good, to be a champion in jiu-jitsu, guys, you have to want it. You have to go after it for yourself, okay? I'm trying to provide an environment where no matter what someone's goal is, kid or a grown-up, that they can get to those goals, whether it's world champion or to be a jiu-jitsu teacher or just to lose weight and become healthy and get better at fighting or just get better at the sport of jiu-jitsu. Local competition, international competition. Again, I want to do that work on the other side. Cleaning the mats, being open, having instruction, having classes, 10 a.m., 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, and take my students to that next level. That's what it's all about. All right, so this episode is called Levels, quick, easy one on the way to work. And I hope you guys have something to think about. Watch those European Championship matches and study. Okay, again, guys, it's skill level. Being stronger always helps. Having better cardio always helps, sure. But the biggest thing is your jiu-jitsu skill level. You're playing the game of jiu-jitsu. It's like chess. You have to get better or not, whatever you want to do. One more thing, my friend, a great podcast, one of the original jiu-jitsu podcasts, the Inside BJJ podcast, Tim Freeman, my friend Tim, he's the head coach and owner of 10th Planet Stockton and 10th Planet Nashville. This guy's a beast, and he has a podcast. But they just announced on his podcast that the Professional Grappling League, the PGL, they're going to do like a new season this year with a $100,000 prize. So it's going to be teams. I think Andre Galvao is going to coach a team. Jeff Glover is going to coach a team. Roger Gracie's going to coach a team. Eddie Bravo is going to coach a team. So that sounds pretty cool. And then the teams are going to fight each other. I think it's 5 people per team. And then the winning jiu-jitsu team gets $100,000. So I guess athletes get like $20,000. I'm super excited for this. It's nice to see the sport growing in so many different ways and some more opportunities for everyone that is fighting and putting their life, like putting jiu-jitsu first in their whole life, right? One thing I would like to see, I have no idea if they're doing it or not, but I would like to see some drug testing. At least say that they're going to do drug testing. I think it would be easy to adopt any tournament could just say, you know what, we're drug testing. We don't know when, but we're going to do some drug testing. And when you sign here, you're saying that you never done no steroids. And then if they end up getting caught anywhere, IBJJF or anywhere, just say, okay, since you got caught, you're not eligible to win all this money. If you're going to fight someone for $100,000 and then you think they're going to do steroids, then what are you going to do? All right, I got to do these steroids so I could fight them and win the $100,000. Like the more money that gets involved to be more professional, we got to get rid of the steroids in the sport. I'm very keen on that. I teach so many kids it's like we gotta figure out a way to get the steroids out of the sport. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I've never taken steroids, lifetime natural, but dude, I know they work. I know the people at the very top are on steroids. Mika Galvao just won Europeans and he was out for a year because of steroid suspension, right? And he is freaking 19. So when was he doing steroids? When he's like 14. So something to think about, something to chew on. Levels to the sport. Don't do no roids. Just try to get better. All right. I'll see you guys. Come train with us. Rebel Jiujitsu Academy. Follow us on Instagram at Rebel Jiujitsu Academy. And I got some big news about the school coming up end of the week. All right. Talk to you soon.